Oh, it's broken.
Hey, is this the right place? Gatecrasher's recording studio?
Yes, this is the place. I'm so glad you're here. I really need your help.
Yeah, you seem to be in a bit of a rut. How can I help?
You're the Sailor Moon expert, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay. How do I do a magic girl transformation? Being able to change my clothes with like a synchronized dance is a big goal of mine.
Oh, that's so easy. Like this. Just throw your arm up in the air and shout, Moon Prism Power, make up!
All right. I think I've been going about this the absolute wrong way. All right. Deep breath. Here we go. Moon Prism Power Makeup.
That was great. Could use a little bit of work, but we'll get there.
All right. Let's do this thing.
Welcome to Gatecrashers, a podcast dedicated to kicking open the door to your next favorite thing. Our mission, our creed, our code is this: to make all nerdy things more approachable and accessible to everyone. We want you to find a universe that you'll fall in love with. I am Victoria Johnson. I am the host of the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. Obviously a huge Sailor Moon fan, as well as a fan of other things. You know, I'm a nerd. I love anime. I love comic books. I love so many things. And my pronouns are she and her, and I'm really excited to be here.
And I'm very excited to have you here. I'm Dan. I use he, him pronouns. I'm so excited for this episode. I told you that Sailor Moon was always something I knew, and I saw things like that. But like when I was growing up, I was a kid, so I was more of a mindset like I watched Dragon Ball Z. But now I much rather watch this after watching this movie. I was like, oh wow, this action actually happens. I don't have to wait 9 episodes.
Right, yeah, they actually transform in one episode. You don't have to wait, watch Goku screaming for over 3 episodes.
You all right up there, Goku?
Right. She powers up all in one episode, in one scene, really.
So, if you haven't figured it out, we're covering Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God, I love this show. So, and if you want to give you the little blurb of the show. Yeah. So Sailor Moon is obviously an anime series under the magical girl genre. And it follows a group of girls who gain superpowers. They're technically vigilantes, and I don't think people usually think about them that way. But but together they fight for love and justice as they defend the Earth from evil. Main character Usagi Tsukino is Sailor Moon, the title character, and she's joined by a team of technically vigilantes: Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, and Sailor Venus to fight against supernatural monsters. And she's later joined by a few more Sailor Senshi or soldiers: Sailor Saturn, Sailor Uranus, Sailor Neptune, and Sailor Pluto.
Oh, there's more.
And Sailor Chibi Moon. Yeah.
Wait, what is Sailor Chibi Moon? Please explain that to me.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that's a lot. So you watch the movie. So there's the girl with the pink hair.
Mm-hmm.
So she becomes a Sailor Scout, and she is Usagi and Mamoru's daughter from the future who comes to the past.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah,
I believe you.
I mean,
you could have just made that up, and I Sure.
Right, yeah. I think I try to make that as like clear as possible,
Yeah.
but it is like it sounds like a confusing thing, but
So
yeah.
we talk a lot about comic books, so like it just
Right.
clicks. I just believe you. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
exactly.
Um,
It might be actually a little more straightforward than most comic books.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to explain like Batman Beyond turned out to
Right.
be Bruce Wayne's son, but by DNA that Bruce Wayne put in his dad, and like, just stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
But if you wouldn't mind telling me like a little bit about like the background of Sailor Moon, like where it came from, those type of things.
Yeah, so obviously it's an anime series, like I said before. It came out in the early 90s. Was very popular. I first came about it when it started airing on Toonami right before Dragon Ball Z,
Mm-hmm.
which is the anime block on Cartoon Network. And it really just kind of made the magical girl genre really popular. And it's kind of inspired a lot of shows that we see now, like the new She-Ra, Steven Universe. There's another show called Miraculous Ladybug.
I know that
It
one.
also, yeah, it's good. The person who voices Sailor Mars is actually Ladybug, which is really cool. Yeah, and I think it just became really popular because, I mean, obviously you have like girls who are like super powerful and just like really cool. But it was also like kind of inspired by Power Rangers,
I was
or the
gonna I didn't want to like sound offensive, but like it seems like it
yeah,
was inspired by like Sentai and Kamen Rider. That's
definitely
because all have their own colors, they all have their own powers. And I
right.
know Sentai is like a super super popular thing, just pretty much around the whole world. And we did an episode on Power Rangers. So Sentai is the footage you see in Power Rangers that isn't the U.S. actors. Just so anyone listening hasn't heard the Power Ranger episode. But this is all women, so it it was completely different than Power Rangers, which was a mixed team. So having a full team of girls was just like really cool to see.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the things that drew me to the show. Even though I also did watch Dragon Ball Z and a lot of other shows in
Mm.
the anime block. Just to see like all women and for them to be all different too. They're not all the same characters. They don't have the same personalities. But for them to still be kind of close and like, little family is really nice to see.
Something about that. This this is completely just a weird thing I noticed, but like it's something that hit me as soon as I saw it. It's like, oh, everyone's a different height.
Yeah.
That's like very cool for me to see because in most animation, like a lot of Western animation, everyone's the same height. So having some like different heights there was I like something that immediately jumped out to me. I was like, oh, check that out.
Yeah, that's the one thing a lot of people point out, especially about Sailor Jupiter, is that, to see someone tall amongst their friends and, dealing with that isolation of being like taller than everyone, but also like this acceptance of yourself. And that kind of comes up more in the show. But yeah, it is really cool just to get that variety in like hairstyles and hair and color and uh, even their outfits. I think Sailor Moon's one of the shows that gets really applauded for their just like day-to-day outfits because they actually have like clothes that they wear, like regular clothes, and it changes. And they're actually like cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't mention before, I don't think that they're all like teenagers as well.
Yes, I had to look that up. I was like, how old is everyone?
Yeah, yeah.
And before we talk about sort of the themes through the story, what did we watch?
So we watched the Sailor Moon R movie, Promise of a Rose, which is the first movie of the series. Yeah.
I did not know it had that subtitle. I watched. I've been trying to figure out what R means since I watched it.
So each season, so there's 5 seasons of Sailor Moon. There's Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon R, Sailor Moon S, Sailor Moon Supers, and then Sailor Moon Stars. And then the R stands for romance.
Oh,
Yeah, I just still not sure. I'm still not exactly sure why. But so this is like the movie that coincides with that season of Sailor Moon, the second season.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
Hmm.
Kind of like Dragon Ball Z has their own movies in the.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think One Piece does
Yeah.
similar thing.
That one I have zero. I've got. I'm not a huge anime person. I'm very upfront about that. One Piece has. Every time someone talks about it, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's like this many episodes." And it's like, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I got to
It's
episode 100 of Naruto, and then I was like, I can't go anymore.
it's definitely a mission and it takes time. I did end up making it to I think episode 800 in One Piece. And I still haven't caught up. Like it's almost 1,000 episodes now. One day I will.
Good for them.
Yeah, I know. And it's really great. I mean, it's a great anime. I have no regrets, but yeah. And then I should also add about Sailor Moon too is that if we're talking about like the history, in 2014 they actually released a redub of the series because the original 90s dub that I grew up on and from Toonami censored a lot of things and added some things. I don't think you ever get to meet. I don't think you meet these characters in Promise of a Rose, but Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune are in a couple.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
remember reading somewhere that they took that out of the original.
Right. They made them cousins too.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it in America. Like,
They're like, this explains why they live together and they share the same bed and they're so close all the time. They're cousins.
not lesbians, cousins. Just
Right.
move past.
That'll be easier for children to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie didn't shy away from that with Furia. Tell me if I said that wrong.
Fiore.
Fiore. Fury was trying to steal a man. Like that was like
Yeah.
the whole time I was like, wait. Oh. I was like, this is made in the 90s, right? And then I was like, wow, it's really interesting to see how America and Japan have different hang-ups for different things, like different things they like don't like talking about, and like just how different our cultures are, especially with things like that. But I'm glad they redid it. I didn't realize they redid it for that, like to actually give the like the full show.
Yeah, so like it was the first time we actually got like the original Japanese show, but you know, being able to watch it with the English dub, with an English dub. You know, I still love the original 90s though, obviously, because I grew up with it and it's very nostalgic for me, especially some of the voices. But
did they change the voice cast for the second one?
they did. They did. They changed everybody. Yeah. But I mean the new voice actors, it took me a little bit to adjust, but I definitely like it now. And then they also did a reboot, Sailor Moon Crystal, which is out now, and I have mixed feelings on that. But yeah.
So there is a lot of Sailor Moon. What are some major themes of the series?
So definitely friendship. You see a lot between the Senshi or the sailor soldiers. They just have like this really strong bond with each other that you don't see in many other shows, I think, especially between women. Love, found family, relationships you see, between Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask / Mamoru. Just their like love for each other. And then of course like Justice. Oh, go ahead.
Does he go by Tuxedo Man the whole time?
Tuxedo Mask,
So,
yeah.
sorry, I was trying.
No worries.
Tuxedo Man, like just that's his vigilante superhero title.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, actually, oh, go ahead.
no, I just wasn't. I always thought he was the tux. Like I didn't. I guess I never knew his name. When they said Tuxedo Mask, I was like, really?
He does go by Moonlight Knight for like yeah, okay.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
Why would you not keep that?
I don't know. I mean, it's funny too because he actually technically doesn't wear a tuxedo. That's like another like they don't mention it in the show, but like it's like a fun fact, I guess, for viewers. like, or tuxedo aficionados. It's like it doesn't actually wear a tuxedo,
The
but
tuxedo
his name is Tuxedo
aficionados have a
Mask.
really big problem with Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, petitions and everything. It's not a tuxedo.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll probably. Oh, go
No,
ahead.
you go right ahead.
I was gonna say, I think we'll probably talk about this a little bit later, but I think forgiveness is also like a really big theme of the show. Like you see Usagi kind of have this really big heart and willingness to forgive people, and that's comes up a lot, and it's one of the most admirable things I find about her, because she gets a lot of slack for being kind of like a crybaby and like in the beginning of the show, she's kind of a little bit more cowardly and like isn't ready to kind of jump into fights. And, she is a 14-year-old girl, so it's understandable. And just kind of whiny, but, just her having like this really big heart and like willingness to forgive, like even the most, any villain,
Yeah, I thought
is really nice.
I don't want to give any spoilers before we get to that part, but a lot of those themes come up, and like I love her. She made me laugh the entire time because like she's so larger than life. She's like very extra with everything she does. She I don't know if it's the character or like she has to be like the center.
Yeah.
Like good for her. Like I feel that. I get it.
Yeah, no, that is very much her. She is super extra and just like wacky.
Yeah.
Someone made a good comment on my podcast one time. They were like, if any other anime, she would be the comedic relief. And it's kind of cool that she gets to be the main character here because she does kind of play that comedic relief kind of character.
Yeah, but then she's got the duality of like this empathy and heart that I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings about Sailor Moon. They're all very good.
Yay.
I tweeted, I was like, hey, I know I'm like 20 years too late, but like Sailor Moon, really good.
Yeah. I saw that tweet and I was like, yes.
I was so excited to like when we started talking about doing an episode, I was like, oh, maybe I should watch it now. I was like, you know what? I want to wait till like last minute so I can't like exhaust my thoughts out into the void of Twitter because
yeah,
it was a great movie. Who do you think would like Sailor Moon? Like if you liked a certain show, if you like other types of show, what would you like?
Definitely if you've ever watched any other magical girl show like Cardcaptor Sakura or Princess Tutu. We mentioned Power Rangers earlier. I think if you like Power Rangers, you would like this show. I think like any kind of like feel good anime or movies or whatever. I think like Hayao Miyazaki, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is another one of my favorites. I think it kind of has a similar humor with One Punch Man sometimes, maybe not so much. Kind of has the moodiness of Inuyasha sometimes, but sort of maybe not really. And then if you're talking about kind of like the heroism, I think My Hero Academia and Gurren Lagann are good side animes.
I can only back you up on a couple of those.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, absolutely. I will put my name on the line for that one because they all have their own special powers and like very big Power Ranger vibes, and I loved it. And then I've never seen a Miyazaki movie. I think I've only seen a part of Howl's Moving Castle, and my brother, girlfriend, everybody in my life is a big fan. Just never seemed to be for me. So you may have to come back and do an episode about that.
Yeah, girl on HBO.
Yeah, that was a big one, and I feel like they were always in theaters like every year.
Yeah, they always do like a Studio Ghibli film festival or something.
I feel like I'll probably wait till that because like I really love the movies. Like that's my like self-care. Like I will go to the movies and like that is where I can like cut off from everything in the world. I'm very strict about like turning my phone off and all that kind of stuff just because like I'm there.
Yeah, I do miss that too. Just like being in a movie theater and just kind of escaping into.
It's okay. I have to keep the good vibes that comes back.
Yeah.
So, Sailor Moon is actually probably one of the most accessible animes just because it is everywhere. the original 90 dub is not available on streaming, but the original 90 series is redubbed. And on Hulu, the reboot is also on Hulu. Sailor Moon R, the movie, is on Crunchyroll. It's also on Funimation. I think that's where I watched it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then everything else is pretty much on DVD, and you can find that at viz.com/Sailor Moon. It's pretty easy to find it. So, as we said, we watched Sailor Moon R, the movie. We are going to chat about that. And if you want to watch the movie and then come back and listen to the discussion, please feel free because it will be very spoiler filled. So I will see you after the jump. And we are back. I love this movie. I really did. Victoria, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, I'll preface it by saying that well, I love the movie. It's I love all the Sailor Moon movies, but this one is definitely good. It's the first Sailor Moon movie I saw. I did not realize that Mamoru and Fiore were a thing until I watched it when I was older. And I was like, wait, something's going on here. And I thought that just made it just so much more better and interesting that you kind of get this more depth to Mamoru's character than we get in the series. And yeah, I think really does a good job of kind of encapsulating the series. Like I talked about, like Usagi's like forgiveness and kind of introduces you to the characters a little bit and just kind of gives you a nice little intro.
I really loved that at the opening of the movie, Usagi kind of tells you. She's like, I'm Sailor Moon. These are my friends. We're the Sailor Scout. Like, she explains everything. So, like, as a new person coming into it, all I had to do was turn it on. And I knew what I was getting into.
Right.
And a lot of things don't do that. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, I've got a lot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the Magic Girl transformations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a part of the show regularly?
Yeah, definitely.
So like,
definitely.
Do they always have their own theme songs sung while they transform?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Sailor June.
It's so good. It's like kind of like nostalgic for like the 90s kind of stuff, but I loved it. Like I'm like sitting there like on my bed like super excited. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Because at first I heard hers and then the other one started and I was like, oh wait, this is different.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes they will use Sailor Moon's song for everybody, which is kind of weird, but they will switch it also for each one sometimes. And that's really fun. Yeah, I think it's so funny because like the transformations are in every episode and I never get tired of watching them.
And do they always do like the full like not the full one? Do they always get an animation when they do like their special moves?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
This is going to be a hard question, I assume. But do you have a favorite scout? Are they called Sailor Scouts? Sorry, I don't want to keep saying that if I'm wrong.
No, you're fine. There's a lot of names, but so the original English sub called them Sailor Scouts. Japanese calls them Sailor Senshi, and then Senshi translates to soldiers, so they are also called Sailor Soldiers. So either one is fine. I use them interchangeably. I usually say Sailor Senshi, though.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, I do. So Sailor Moon is my favorite. If you haven't been able to tell, I just, like you said, like she's hilarious. She's also just like has this really cool, like imperfectness about her that I really like. She's kind of moody, but also like she cares about people and, she's funny, and she's just not perfect. Like you see it a little bit more in the series, I think, but she's just not like a quote unquote leader material. Like she's not a Superman,
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool about her character because, even though she doesn't have those like qualities, she still tries really hard. And I don't know. She's really cool. Yeah.
So when she first does her like full transformation, when they're in like this big fight, she says she's the pretty guardian. Is that something? Is that just something she always says, or she's just like, I'm the pretty one?
That's something she also says. So that's actually another name. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon is like the full name of the show.
Incredible.
Yeah. And they're also called Pretty Guardians as well. All of them. But she usually is the only one. No, I think all of them actually introduce themselves as Pretty Guardians sometimes. I think.
I'm going to start introducing myself as that.
You should. I might too, actually.
Job interview. Hi, I'm the Pretty Guardian, Dan McMahon.
Yeah.
It's a good in. It's a power move. I think people will be a little taken aback, but it's fine.
Right.
They don't know who the pretty one is.
Exactly. And you're here to do things.
I really do hear what you're saying. Like, she kind of is messy. Like, when everyone else is... Oh, the cats. Are the cats...
Yeah.
What's the deal? Like, are they super smart? Like... This cat's using a computer. Like, my cat will lay on my keyboard, but she's not doing, like, highly sophisticated algorithms.
Right. Not typing.
Yeah.
So the cats are kind of, how can I explain this? In the, like, plainest form, I'll say, like, a familiar. But, okay. They actually, like... are technically aliens, but they look like cats.
Sure.
And they are the ones they used to. I don't know how familiar you are with like Sailor Moon lore.
Give it to me. I'm ready.
All right. So Sailor Moon is actually a reincarnated princess from the moon.
Okay. From the moon.
Yes.
All right.
So like 1,000 years ago, before present day Sailor Moon. She was the princess of the moon. They got attacked, and the queen of the moon, Queen Serenity, basically sent everyone to the future in Earth and to be reincarnated so they could like survive. Okay. Yeah. So the cats were also sent to kind of look after them. They were like the not advisors,
like Zordon.
But like yeah, sort of the like the Moon Kingdom. And so they were kind of, yeah, there was a moon kingdom.
Was there flowers on the moon, or was it just the regular moon?
I don't know. Well, yeah, actually, I think there was a garden. They were like they had, what is it? Like kind of like Roman kind of architecture with like the columns and stuff too.
Yeah, sure. I believe it.
Yeah. So yes, and they're the ones who, reactivate Sailor Moon's power. So she kind of starts off as regular human, and they find her and they're like, "You're Sailor Moon. Here's your, power. Here's your brooch. Go fight the bad guys."
That was my next question. Yeah. The brooch. The special crystal that she helps defeat the bad guy with that might kill her. What is that, just something from the Moon Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a silver crystal. And that is from the Moon Kingdom, and it's what gives her her powers and what helps her fight the bad guys.
So, being that she's from the Moon Kingdom, is everyone else from different kingdoms from different planets?
Yeah, I love how you're putting this all together. So, yes. So, each Sailor Scout is a princess of their respective planets.
Got it.
But the Moon Kingdom is the center of it all.
Okay. So
yeah.
The moon. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because the moon's like a small rock outside the Earth. That is the... Yeah, all right. I believe it.
Just don't think about it so much.
Yeah, no, I'm learning so much. I thought, I was like, maybe I'll research this, but I was like, I kind of want to go in without any knowledge on this. Yeah. So thank you for helping teach me, because I love it. What was I going to say? Oh, so back to the cats who can do algorithms about satellites and the giant space pod asteroid, because I really want to talk about, after I finally make my point about this, the weird, sexy plant women, like that, is a lot. There's a lot for me. But while they're all looking at this computer at the like scary asteroid that they know is going to be a bad news, Sailor Moon is laying under the table with pizza on top of it, whining about how, what's it? Fury came and ruined her moment because she was about to kiss. I don't know if they were boyfriend and girlfriend at that time.
Yes.
So when she's like, they're standing in the flower, like the botanical thing, and she's like ready for him to give her a kiss, and he walks away, and the caterpillar, and she like flies across the room. I had to pause the movie because I was laughing so hard. Because I was not expecting her to be the one to be like, okay, time to kiss. And then he's like, oh, no, thank you. My old boyfriend's here. Gotta go.
Yeah, I feel like it was also like, I feel like I'm being spied on.
Yeah.
This is kind of weird. I'm gonna just step out of this situation.
I was gonna. Are flowers like a running theme through the series? Because in the movie they talked about roses, like forget me nots being about love, and she says something that's kind of just like straight up, life is like a flower. It's too short, so you should fall in love.
It's definitely more so just the movie. I mean, well, Tuxedo Mask does throw roses when he appears on the scene. So that's kind of when you see that flashback where a young Usagi brings him the rose. I think it was kind of to show like that's where he kind of got this whole thing about roses from.
Okay. Do they ever get into the backstory really of how he gets all these roses, or like we just assume?
We yeah, they don't explain. He gets them from another dimension in his pocket.
Does he have powers?
Not really. So he has maybe like heightened agility, and sometimes he has a cane that kind of extends sometimes, and he can throw roses like darts almost, but nothing on the level of like the Sailor Senshi.
Right. So he can throw dart flowers, which is, I mean, cool within itself. Something I noticed like in the movie, there was like so I know it was made in the 90s, but the animation was so crisp and the color palette was so vibrant. Like everything was like very bright, but not like neon. It was just very I don't want to call it animated because like it is animated.
I know what you mean. Like lively. Exaggerated almost. Yeah, lively.
Yes, exaggerated.
Yeah. That's one of the things, like one of the many things that, Sailor Moon gets credit for, gets like really high praise for. It's just like they call it like the Sailor Moon aesthetic, just from like the pastels and like the colors and just like this real prettiness to it. And that's, to bring back what I said earlier about Sailor Moon Crystal, I got a lot of flack was, the animation just isn't as smooth, and they kind of like muted it, the show and the colors. And that's like one of the biggest, attractions to the show. It's like you took away like the character, like the, the heart, or not the heart, but the, I don't know, something that was like important to like why the show is so good. You kind of dulled it almost.
That's such an interesting choice because like that's what I've always thought about Sailor Moon. It's like everyone's got these vibrant colors.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
I can see why you got some bad blood for it.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing is that it follows the manga a little bit closer. But yeah, I just couldn't get with the animation at first, and the art style was different, and then that muted.
So it was a manga. I meant to ask.
Yes.
That. Okay.
Yeah, I probably should mention that earlier too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And the cats talked about them. I cannot remember which scout it was, but so they arrive on the scene and there's like all these people just laying on the road who are just plant zombie people at this point.
Yep.
And one of them tries to grab one of the scouts and she screams, "You pervert," and like does like this back kick.
I think it might have been Sailor Jupiter. I'm forgetting right now.
Color? So what is her color?
Brown hair?
Yes, I think it was her.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's I think if you get the most hand-to-hand combat from her character.
And then like as they're fighting, one of the scouts throws, I think they're ward papers. Is that what they're called? Like wards?
I think so. I'm actually not sure. I always call them just like, like to ward off evil. Yeah. I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
She like exercises them with these like papers.
Yeah, that's Sailor Mars, and that's another really cool thing about her character, is that outside of her being like a Sailor Senshi Guardian scout and having these fire powers, she also, before she was even a scout, was able to kind of like exorcise demons and like tell the future and do all these things. So she's you might have saw in the beginning, she's the she's not a priestess yet, I don't think, but she works kind of at the shrine.
So like she's just like 12 years old and knows how to like exorcise demons.
Basically, yeah.
Gotta teach them young.
Yeah, I mean, when else would you teach them?
Yeah. When else am I supposed to learn how to exorcise demons?
Right.
So
16 is just too late.
Yeah. Yeah. You're never going to learn.
Right.
It's kind of like the Jedi. It's like, you got to start them early.
Yeah.
So as they're fighting these things, one of like, they see this flower, and this is a flower they saw earlier because I'm never going to get the name right. Fiore had this similar flower, and it pops out of the ground, grows little crab legs and a mouth. And my actual note is just, I hate the alien crab plant and I want it squished. Because then it becomes a monster lady. And I was like, oh, this is a lot. Like I did not sign up for this part. The plant horror is kind of a lot. Like, it's awesome. Like, it was I don't know how to describe it. Have you ever seen the Goosebumps Don't Go Down into the Basement? Or like the dad. I'm trying to think of like a good plant horror thing, but I can't. Kind of like Swamp Thing, if you know who that is.
Yeah, I know Swamp Thing.
It's like Swamp Thing. I was just like...
Or was it Poison Ivy almost?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? That is a very good comparison because...
Sexy plant lady.
Both are way too attractive to be plant ladies. I was like, she's evil, but she's also really attractive. So like...
Right. Like, she also could kill me. Oh no.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So one way to go out.
Right.
And then she reappears on his like brooch. He has a little brooch that is just a Cassian flower. It's just a hot woman who just hangs out on his thing. And like, it's an alien who takes over the minds of the weak-willed, it sounds like, and then blows up planets.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I was like, yeah, you know what? That is a logical next step. So he was, other than Sailor Moon herself, I think Fiore. Oh, look at that! I got it twice.
Yeah.
Fiore is probably the most interesting character in my opinion, just because he's trying to take her boyfriend, but he's also big sad.
Yeah,
like he's very
sad.
He didn't have any friends, and he wants to make other people suffer because he's suffering, which is, probably not the best way to go about it.
Villain 101.
Yeah. So he like deals with that through the whole movie, and I think it's really interesting to see that the plant is influencing him to do what he's doing. But before we get into like the big battle of the thing, I know we talked about Chibiusa.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon's future daughter comes back to the past. When they're like, oh, we can never stop this. She summons a gun out of nowhere. I'm like, what? And it was it looked like a regular 9mm pistol. And I'm sitting here like, what? What? Why is this kid strapped? And then it's like a little dark gun, but like, it looks real. She just summons a gun. I was like, oh, everyone else has got these like cool little wands, and Chibiusa's over here like, nah, I just got a 9mm.
Right. Yeah, like, I'll take care of this.
I've got my wand. Oh, I got a gun. Whoa.
Right.
You're like 6.
It's like mini Terminator. Yeah.
Do.
So I posted a picture of one of those images of her holding the gun with I don't know if you ever seen, it's like Kirby holding the knife.
Yes.
It's like the same thing.
What do you got? A knife? No.
Right. Yeah, exactly, that little video too.
You got the small energy.
Yeah.
I was just taken aback because like, it's just a gun.
Right.
This whole show has been like this magical adventure of people transforming and talking cats and then gun. I was like, whoa.
Yep. It's like a little too real. Yeah, I think she's done that at least twice in the show. And it's her, I don't know if you noticed, she carries around like a little ball that kind of looks like the Luna, the black cat. Yeah. So that can transform into different things, and she'll use it to create different things. I don't know why she goes to a gun sometimes. I don't know who taught her that, but it's effective, clearly.
Oh, wait, now I'm just getting the turn. She came back from the future to the past. Wow, she is the Terminator.
Yeah, wow.
The tiny Terminator. Good for her.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sailor Moon's out. That's my new favorite character. Gone.
I love it. Yeah. No, she totally. Wow, she is really. I'm like putting it together more because she even like comes back to kind of save the future, and it's wow.
Dun 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 dun.
I kind of want to like put the music against her.
I'm like, in like I don't remember which Terminator. It's like you see the image of like the robot stepping on a skull, and then it's just her like firing at them all.
Right.
Not any older. She's still the same age.
Right. Yeah. No, still a little chippy with the pink hair. That's so funny.
me catch my breath.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the final battle. What do you tell me your thoughts, feelings? Because you're the expert. Like this, are battles normally this big?
Final battles are usually this big. Day-to-day episodes is not as elaborate. It's more like a wave my wand and you die kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Like they kind of deal with the monster of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they deal with the monster of the week thing, but usually the monsters of the weeks are under a overarching villain that she fights at the end of the series, and that's kind of like similar to what you saw in the movie.
Okay, so she does have like saga long villains like a Lord Zed or a Frieza type character.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to keep comparing it to these other things. This is just like my frame of reference is these just terrifying looking villains. Lord Zed doesn't have skin. It's just like everyone was cool with that. And then Frieza. Frieza is my favorite anime character, just to put that out there. Love him.
Yeah.
Fiore literally goes like final form at one point. He like gets a cool new outfit and it's like super powered. I was like, oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That final battle is really cool. Like it's just like the epitome of just like all the feels and like all the feelings. And just like that culmination of like, I am like fighting you, but also like I like see your true heart kind of thing. And it's those all those like cheesy but good things that you love in a good show. Yeah, it's just epic. I think that was my reaction to it. It's just how epic it is.
I think the fighting was really cool, and like the big waves of the weird hot plant women becoming one big mound of like a wave of plant.
Oh yeah, and the flowers.
I think the best part was he's monologuing. He's like, you don't know pain. Like you don't know what it means to feel alone. But then we like the scouts are pretty much defeated at this point, and you're seeing each of them go through these like troubles, like where they were pretty much like outcasts and outsiders and kind of not losers, but like they didn't have anyone until they had each other. And I thought that was so important because like the whole theme is that he was pining over Tuxedo Mask, and he left and he was like, oh, I'm coming back. Like humans are bad because they weren't nice to you. But like sometimes you don't find your group till later. And having that be like the major theme of the final battle was like very interesting to me as a new fan, just because when you see these characters, you just assume they've got it together because like they're super cool looking, they're super fancy, they have the cool magic dances and the weapons and stuff, but like you don't really know like who they really are, like what they've been through.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's kind of like what I was talking about with the found family before. Like Sailor Mercury is really smart, but people think she's like brainy or kind of intimidated by her, so they don't really. She wasn't really approached. She didn't really have friends. And like Sailor Jupiter is, the fighter. She's the one who's like, you pervert from earlier. And, people were scared of her before she met the group. And people were scared of Sailor Mars too, just from being like this person who can exercise people and, hangs around ravens all day long. And I think Sailor Venus wasn't as much of a loner, but like still, maybe a little bit lonely, like, and just so the other thing is too, so I probably should have mentioned this too earlier. The manga actually starts with Sailor Venus, and she's technically the first Sailor Scout to become a Sailor Scout. Like Artemis finds her first, and then Luna finds Sailor Moon, and then so Sailor Venus is kind of like off doing her thing. That's why. Oh wait, no. You'll see in the first episode. There's like a Sailor V video game that Sailor Moon will play because Sailor Venus is already a thing, like a thing people know about. Like, oh, Sailor V is so cool. And she's like in the newspapers and stuff. And then but they all had their own things that they were suffering with, and that's the thing you see with Sailor Moon too, is just her bringing them together almost, and like being that first person that was like, hey, like, let's be friends, like, I don't care what the rumors say about you.
I did not know that Sailor Moon wasn't like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so interesting.
Sailor Venus. Yeah.
Good for her. Another funny thing that I noticed is that when Sailor Moon like uses the gem and everything, she gets a big white dress instead of her normal sailor outfit. I don't really know what you described as.
So this is her turning back into her Moon Princess form, which is Princess Serenity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now it's all connecting. Back on the moon.
Yeah,
all right.
Back on the moon. Things are happening.
All right.
Yeah. And I think the one thing though, and I wish you could have seen, so the original dub has a different song at the end of this. And I think, oh man, I hope no one kills me, but I'm pretty sure it's Power of Love. And I should have sent you the YouTube clip of that because I really love that song in this final scene. I think the new song is good too, but that's like the song I guess I grew up with. So I'm always like, this is the song. Just like this really big power up ballad.
Like Huey Lewis?
Yeah, actually.
Like Huey.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna watch that after we get off here because I do like Huey Lewis in the news.
That's so funny. Yeah. So that is Power of Love, and it's Huey Lewis. It's funny
like,
that
what was it?
You know that
Transformers. The first movie has like it's like a really touching like Optimus Prime. Spoilers dies, but like it's the you got the touch. Bow, bow.
Oh,
you got the power. Yeah. Like these like power ballads just kind of fit into anime perfectly, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's another song too. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's wild that Huey Lewis in the news was the final. Because like I thought the movie ended so well. Like it didn't sometimes movies will they beat the villain or whatever, and then it goes on for too long. This like Sailor Moon might be dead, and then she has like this great ending line. I cannot remember what she said, but like she's like, "Oh, you thought I was gonna die?" And like then it ends. It's like that's awesome. Like that's a cold cut done.
Yeah.
The power of love.
I mean, I guess with it being the movie and them like kind of gearing up for the next season, they're like, nope.
The power of.
I don't know if you know Stan Bush by any chance.
Stan Bush. No.
Yeah. He does another song called She's Got the Power. And he's also like a kind of rock guy that just like super random that he has a song on a like Sailor Moon album.
That's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. She's got the power. I'm going to have to listen to this one too.
Yeah, I'll send you both. I'm
going to be sitting here up all night just listening to Sailor Moon songs.
The music is so good. It's so good.
Dan, you gonna go to bed? No, I'm too deep. I can't get out of this.
Right. I will say though, I think it is the Huey Lewis, but I think it's a cover with a woman singing in Sailor Moon.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Huh. You blew my mind. Like first it's a Moon Kingdom and the reincarnation of Sailor Moon on Earth. Then it's a Huey Lewis song. And then a gun. Like
what else do you need in a show?
Yeah, you got it all.
Yeah. And also I should add that Mamoru is the Prince of Earth at the time. And him and Sailor Moon kind of, or the Moon Princess, Princess Serenity kind of have a Romeo and Juliet thing semi going on.
And Fiore wasn't really in that equation.
He was not in that equation at the time. No, this was 1,000 years ago. They have Fiore was like not even in the picture at this point.
He was just floating around as a little pinball in space.
Basically, yeah.
When he was like floating this little ball, I was like, all right, why? just kind of bouncing off planet to planet.
Like, when will my time come? Yep.
Where is my prince?
Yeah.
Well,
one day my prince will come.
Well, I'm so glad you were here. I really like Sailor Moon.
Yay! It's a great show. I feel like so many people don't give it a shot because they assume it's like, I don't know, they're either misogynistic and they think like girly things are bad, or, you know, they just don't think it's going to be good because, I don't know, whatever reason.
I was a kid, so like that's kind of what boys were taught. Like I've written on this a bunch. Now that I'm an adult, like I see the absolute problem in toxic masculinity, just in general. Mm-hmm. But like I missed out on all this good stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I tell people. And I'm glad now that you asked me this question about like something that's kind of accessible. And I'm glad you liked it. You're kind of like a guinea pig for me a little bit. Because I'm always trying to figure out how can I, you know, if I want someone to get into Sailor Moon and not watch like all 200 episodes, what can I suggest? And I think the movie is a really good way to kind of get into it.
I think it's even like, as I said, like the opening really just gives, I mean, it doesn't give me the whole Moon Kingdom thing, but like it gives me enough that like I was able to fully enjoy these characters, knowing what little I knew from like pop culture and stuff. Like I knew, I knew it in brief because it would come on before Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
But yeah, I really liked that. So seriously, thank you so much. Would love to have you back anytime you'd like to come on.
Absolutely. I have many interests. So.
And where can people find your show?
People can find my show, Sailor Moon Fan Club, on any podcast streaming platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much everywhere. We're on Audio Mac, Pandora. And I don't think I mentioned it before, but I interview Sailor Moon fans about their life, their careers. I've talked to authors, comic book creators, rappers, a comedian, just anyone who is interested and loves Sailor Moon and just has some kind of side project going on usually, or interesting job.
That's such a good, I love that.
Thank you.
I love the whole Sailor Moon part. I've seen those types of things. I didn't realize it was like, you're talking to them about like stuff they like. It makes me very happy because that's the whole deal here. It's like, just tell me about something you like and help someone else get into it. So
right. Yeah. It's like, let's talk about our shared love of Sailor Moon and then tell me about this other thing that you love and like, get someone into that. And it's either like, you know, the comic book you're writing or, you know, the comic books you love. I mentioned this to you earlier before we started recording, but Doctor Who, I spoke to Connie about Doctor Who, and we also talked about Sailor Moon, and then like we'll match like things. So we match doctors with Sailor Scouts.
Oh wait, hold
which
on.
doctor would be which Sailor Scout?
Which Sailor Scout is Peter Capaldi?
Oh, who did we say? I want to say we said Jupiter.
Okay, I could see
maybe. I think we said Jupiter.
It's the eyebrows.
Yeah. Oh, it's the eyebrows. Or maybe Uranus, who you haven't met yet.
The cousins, right?
Yes, the cousins. One of the cousins. Yes, exactly.
What? It just boggles my mind. That was they're cousins. They don't kiss.
Right.
Nothing. Please don't look into it.
Right. Just ignore them like slowly embracing each other. It's just because they're family. That's why they're close. Yeah, it is really bad looking back because they even changed one of the villains in the beginning. There is also in a couple with another villain, and they just changed the voice of. So there are two men, and they changed one of the voices to a woman's voice actress. Mm-hmm. So they just made her a woman instead of two men.
Sure.
And they cut out some other scenes, like they cut out the gun. That probably was a good call.
The gun really sold it for me.
You know, I mean, well, maybe they should have kept it in.
Yeah.
And
Well, they got me.
probably would've
They
got-
got me now.
yeah.
Gun. It was just so. It was just like. It was out of nowhere, and it just made me, just like, hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, what? Big fan. Big fan. I love it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much. You can find us at GateCrashersPod on Twitter and Instagram, and our website gatecrashers.fan. See you next week.
It's the Gate Crashers.